Well, hello there, friends and kin, and welcome to Sundee Service. Uh, to this morning, or rather this afternoon, it literally just turned afternoon. I'm enjoying a Olmec cigar by Foundation. This is a new one to me. My local cigar lounge just started carrying it, and I must say I am very impressed and thoroughly enjoying it. And I may have to rush our service a little bit today. It is sprinkling lightly off and on here. This is a normal late fall, early winter for us here in the Carolinas. Uh, Chilly with intermittent drizzling and dreary days. So, matter of fact, it's already starting again. So, get us a little bit of shelter right here. See if I can manage to have the dexterity here to keep us a little sheltered while we get sprinkled on. I'm only going to read one paragraph today from Anam Cara. And this particular paragraph, though, packs a really important lesson. And one that I think, all right, here we go. Now I got us situated a little better. Mr. O'Donohue touches on this lesson multiple times throughout his works, and it's very, very foundational in the progress of our own spiritual growth. Once the soul awakens, the search begins, and you can never go back. From then on, you are inflamed with a special longing that will never again let you linger in the lowlands of complacency and partial fulfillment. The eternal makes you urgent. You are loath to let compromise or the threat of danger hold you back from striving toward the summit of fulfillment. When this spiritual path opens, you can bring an incredible generosity to the world and to the lives of others. Sometimes it is easy to be generous outward, to give and give and give, and yet remain ungenerous to yourself. You lose the balance of your soul if you do not learn to take care of yourself. You need to be generous to yourself in order to receive the love that surrounds you. You can suffer from a desperate hunger to be loved. You can search long years in lonely places far outside yourself, yet the whole time this love is but a few inches away from you. It is at the edge of your soul, but you have been blind to its presence. Through some hurt, a door has slammed shut within the heart, and you are powerless to unlock it and receive the love. We must remain attentive in order to be able to receive. Boris Pasternak said, "When a great moment knocks on the door of your life, it is often no louder than the beating of your heart, and it is very easy to miss." So there's two takeaways from this paragraph. That I'd like to zero in on. One of which is this notion of giving and giving and giving to others, but not being generous to yourself. And then the other is not recognizing what you're looking for when it's slapping you in the face. And I've been in both situations numerous times, and I think we all experience that numerous times. And I know it still happens to me. It still does. It's not something I've achieved some enlightened state where I've gotten over these things. So in the first instance, I think that a lot of us who are walking this spiritual path find this sincere joy in helping others who are struggling too. And hence that the sentences about we give and give, but lack that generosity to ourselves. Sometimes there's an added issue to this process, and that's that it's much easier to help other people overcome their problems than it is to own and deal with our own. And I know that was the case with me for many years. I would offer divination services and spiritual counseling services to people, and even serve in priestly functions in certain communities. And but at the same time, I wasn't doing my own internal work. I wasn't working on myself. So, and a lot of times it was because there were things I needed to deal with that I didn't want to acknowledge. Certain character defects, flaws, shortcomings, or just traumatic experiences from my past that I hadn't properly processed and integrated into myself yet. And I could the choices I was making, where I was focusing on helping other people out of their slumps and work on their pathways through life. I could pat myself on the back for being this kind and generous person, yet avoid dealing with my own package at the same time. And it would give me this false sense of accomplishment. And now some people who go through this genuinely think that they're too far gone, they're not worthy of redemption or spiritual growth in any way, so they might as well share their life story as an example for others not to repeat their mistakes while they sit there wallowing in self-loathing and despair. And I've felt my fair share of that. The other part is just I don't want to do this. I don't want to face what's in the darker parts of my own heart and my own psyche. So let me just focus on helping other people deal with their stuff, and I can leave my stuff in the dark abyss of my subconscious, and just pretend it's not there. It's an avoidance tactic, is what it is. And acknowledging that is a huge step toward putting yourself in a healthier headspace. And then the other part of hold on one second. And then the other part of it, I couldn't remember exactly how he worded it. The other part of it that I wanted to unpack in that paragraph a little bit is not recognizing what we're looking for when it's right in front of us. Like O'Donohue says, when we first start down this road to trying to become to lead more spiritual lives and acknowledge the deeper parts of ourselves, a lot of times we think we have to climb to the summit of some mountain, or go on some long grandiose quest to find what we're looking for. And much like the mythological sagas and folk tales that many of us find guidance and meaning in. But I think a lot of times we forget that the application of a lot of those stories is very allegorical. It's very symbolic. And one person's journey across mountains and countries and even continents, for a lot of us in the real world, in the waking world, that manifests as a journey through the vast territories of our own inner landscape. It's not a matter of finding. It's not a matter of journeying across a continent to find some sort of rare book or meet with a guru face to face, which I've done both of those, and oftentimes in the end found myself right back where I started, thinking I was going to receive some sort of transcendent experience from the journey. Now, in the long run, looking back, I walked away with a lot of self-knowledge and understanding my own strengths and flaws with a little more clarity, and I'm grateful for that. But a lot of times, all too often, what we're looking for to complete ourselves is literally right under our nose. It is right beside us. And I think that the point of a lot of those journeys is because in order to see what's right beside us all along for what it really is, we have to change. We have to we have to change the way we look at the world around us to be able to see it for what it is. Sometimes that does involve, you know, traversing the globe, but all too often it just involves acknowledging our experiences for what they are and a level of honesty with ourselves and a willingness to not take what's right in front of us for granted. And I think a lot of times that's what that journey, that massive journey involves. You go into unfamiliar territory to challenge the way you look at the world, and when your worldview changes, you come back to where you started with a set of fresh eyes, and you notice things for what they really are instead of what you took them for granted for being. And those are two really powerful ideas I got out of just that one paragraph. The idea of being generous with yourself, with spiritual care and guidance, and also involves being hard on yourself a little bit. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up. There's a difference. Beating yourself up and being firm with yourself are two totally different things. Beating yourself up is pointless, but being firm with yourself, setting expectations and goals and holding yourself accountable to that, that's powerful stuff. And those are the tools of growth. So don't focus on, so it's okay to help other people, to be a good friend and be a spiritual ally to others, but don't put anyone else's spiritual well-being above your own, because if you put your own last always, you're that's a self-defeating practice. You've got to be able to apply the assistance you're willing to provide others to yourself as well. So be good to yourself, help yourself, support yourself, and also don't don't invest yourself so much in somebody else's well-being that you're neglecting your own. You've got to do your own work, the light work and the dark work both. The fun, happy stuff as well as the stuff that happens in the shadows. Because if you don't do that work for yourself, then you're not a very honest guide for other people. And don't take what's right around you, in front of you, in your immediate space for granted. Sometimes you just have to see things with a set of fresh eyes to understand them for what they are. And more often than not, you're going to find that everything you wanted was right in front of you all along. And with those thoughts, friends and kin, I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll see you Sunday service next week.